Greece has always held a special place in my imagination, not just for its sun-drenched islands or the iconic blue domes perched above the Aegean Sea, but for something deeper, a whisper from ancient times that seemed to call out to me across the centuries. Even as a child, I felt a mysterious pull toward this land, as if its stories and landscapes were woven into the fabric of my dreams. There was always a sense of wonder in the way Greece lingered in my thoughts, a place where history and myth blend seamlessly, where every stone and shadow seems to hold a secret. I imagined walking among ruins that had witnessed the rise and fall of empires, feeling the weight of time beneath my feet. I grew up reading stories of gods and heroes, picturing a land of rugged beauty and timeless wisdom. The tales of Athena's cleverness, Odysseus's courage, and the tragic fates of mortals and immortals alike filled my mind with vivid images. I would lose myself in those pages, imagining the olive groves, the wild mountains, and the endless blue of the Mediterranean. The idea of Greece was a seed planted in my heart, waiting for the right moment to bloom. Over the years, that seed grew quietly, nourished by curiosity and a longing for adventure. I often found myself daydreaming about wandering through ancient villages, tasting olives fresh from the tree, and listening to the wind as it whispered through cypress trees. My decision to go wasn't sudden. It was a slow, growing need for something more than my everyday life. The routine of city streets and crowded trains began to feel confining, and I yearned for open skies and the promise of discovery. I realized I was searching for a place where I could reconnect with a sense of wonder and possibility. I felt drawn to the mountains, to the wild heart of the country where ancient traditions still thrive. There I hoped to find a Greece untouched by time, where the rhythms of life move slowly and the past is never far away. The thought of meeting shepherds, hearing old songs, and witnessing age-old festivals filled me with anticipation. I wanted to find the Greece of poets, to climb winding paths and discover hidden villages. I imagined myself wandering through narrow stone streets, exchanging smiles with locals and stumbling upon places that don't appear in any guidebook. It was the promise of the unknown that excited me most. My friends thought me odd for skipping the beaches, but I was after the soul of the country, not just a suntan. While others dreamed of lazy days by the sea, I longed for the stories hidden in the hills, for the quiet moments of reflection that only solitude can bring. I wanted to experience Greece in a way that was personal and profound. With walking boots, notebooks, and a heart full of anticipation, I set off, leaving behind the familiar for the unknown. Each step felt like a small act of faith, a willingness to embrace whatever the journey might bring. I was ready to be changed by the land and its stories. This was more than a holiday. It was a journey to find a missing piece of myself among Greece's majestic mountains. I hoped that somewhere between the ancient stones and the wild peaks, I would discover not only the Greece I had always imagined, but also a deeper sense of who I am. Leaving the city behind, the landscape unfolded, rolling hills, olive groves, and cypress trees shimmering in the sun. The countryside seemed to stretch endlessly, a patchwork of greens and golds, each hill and grove telling its own ancient story. The sunlight danced on the leaves, creating a mosaic of light and shadow that felt almost otherworldly. The air grew fresher, scented with pine and wild herbs as the energy of the land shifted. Each breath felt like a sip of nature's elixir, invigorating and pure. The aromatic plants with their subtle fragrances whispered secrets of the earth, grounding me in the present moment. My heart was set on the heights ahead, Mount Olympus, rising from the horizon like a sleeping giant. The mountain's silhouette against the dawn sky was a sight to behold, a majestic reminder of the myths and legends that have shaped this land. It stood there, timeless and eternal, calling out to adventurers and dreamers alike. The peaks, shrouded in mist, felt both humbling and magical, a place where myth and reality collide. The swirling clouds around the summits added to the mystique, making it seem as though the gods themselves were hiding just beyond the veil. It was a landscape that invited contemplation and reverence. As we approached, ravines and dense forests emerged, sunlight painting the crags gold and grey. The interplay of light and shadow on the rocky surfaces created a dynamic, ever-changing tapestry. The dense forests with their ancient trees and hidden paths seemed to guard the secrets of the mountain. I imagined Zeus atop the summit, the stories of my childhood suddenly alive. The panoramic view from the peak was breathtaking, a vantage point that offered a glimpse into the divine. It was easy to see why this mountain was considered the home of the gods. Stepping off the bus in Litocoro, at Olympus's foot, the air was crisp and cool. The village, nestled at the base of the mountain, had a serene, almost timeless quality. The early morning light cast a gentle glow over the rooftops, and the sound of birdsong filled the air. The mountain towered above, intimidating yet inviting, and a profound calm washed over me. Its imposing presence was a reminder of nature's grandeur and the smallness of human existence. Yet it also felt like a guardian, watching over the village and its inhabitants. I had arrived, standing at the threshold of a world I'd only dreamed of. The trailhead marked the beginning of an adventure that promised to be both challenging and rewarding. It was a moment of anticipation and excitement, the start of a journey into the unknown. The journey had truly begun. Each step forward was a step into a new chapter, a story waiting to be written. The path ahead was winding and uncertain, but it was also full of promise and potential. With my small bag and big dreams, I felt an immediate, deep connection to this place. The mountains, the forests, the very air seemed to resonate with my spirit. It was as if I had found a piece of myself that had been missing. This was where I was meant to be. The serenity of the mountains at dawn, the peaceful moments of reflection, all felt like a homecoming. It was a place where dreams and reality intertwined. The adventure was real now. Each step was a testament to the journey ahead, a promise of discovery and wonder. The wilderness of Mount Olympus awaited, and I was ready to embrace it. From Olympus, I ventured west into Zagori, a hidden region of stone villages and forested mountains. The journey was an adventure, winding along cliffside roads into a landscape so pristine it felt timeless. My first stop, Monodendri, a village of cool grey stone and slate roofs where cars are rare and mules carry supplies. I stayed at a guest house run by Eleni, whose warmth made me feel like family. Days were spent wandering without a map, discovering blooming courtyards, tiny Byzantine churches, and breathtaking panoramas. The silence was profound, broken only by bees and distant birds, and I felt the stresses of modern life melt away. In the village square, locals played backgammon under ancient trees, sharing stories and hospitality without words. The people of Zagori, proud and resilient, taught me that the deepest connections are built on simple kindness. Here I found a sense of belonging in a world that felt both ancient and welcoming. The Vikos Gorge, deepest in the world by proportion, was a staggering sight from the Oxia viewpoint. Standing there, I felt as if I was peering into the very bones of the earth, where time itself seemed to slow. The sheer scale of the gorge, its dramatic cliffs plunging into the abyss, was both humbling and awe-inspiring. The earth dropped away into a chasm, the Voidomatis River a turquoise ribbon far below. Its waters, impossibly clear, traced a path carved over millions of years, whispering stories of ancient floods and shifting stone. From above, the river looked delicate, but I knew it was a force that shaped the land. I wanted to experience the gorge from within, so I hired Nikos, a local guide. His knowledge of the land and its legends promised a journey deeper than any map could show. With his easy smile and steady pace, Nikos made the wild landscape feel welcoming. We descended the ancient Scala of Vradeto, a stone staircase built into the cliffs. Each step echoed with the footsteps of countless travelers before us, shepherds, villagers, and wanderers who had relied on this path for centuries. The world above faded, replaced by the river's gurgle and our footsteps on stone. The air grew cooler, scented with wild herbs and damp earth, and the sounds of civilization disappeared, replaced by the music of nature. On the canyon floor, limestone walls soared overhead, the lights soft and tranquil. Sunbeams filtered through the narrow opening, painting shifting patterns on the mossy rocks and illuminating hidden corners where ferns and wildflowers thrived. Nikos pointed out wildflowers and herbs, sharing stories of those who once sought refuge here. He spoke of healers who gathered rare plants, and of villagers who hid in the gorge during times of war, finding safety among the stones and shadows. Crossing the arched bridge of Kokori, I dipped my hands in the icy water, feeling clarity and peace. The cold was invigorating, a reminder of the river's ancient journey from mountain springs to the sea, and of the countless lives it had touched along the way. The gorge was more than a walk. It was a journey into the earth's ancient heart. Every step felt like a passage through time, each stone and tree holding memories of ages past. In that timeless beauty, I felt connected to history and nature in a way I'd never known. The silence was profound, broken only by the wind and the distant call of birds, inviting reflection and gratitude. The experience left me changed. I carried with me not just memories, but a sense of wonder and respect for the wild places that endure, quietly shaping the world and those who walk within them. The magic of the Greek mountains was found not just in landscapes, but at the dinner table. Every meal was a celebration of local ingredients and tradition, especially the flaky hand-made peats filled with wild greens or cheese. One evening in Papigo, I shared a meal with a shepherd's family, communicating through the universal language of food. We ate slow-roasted lamb, lemon potatoes, sun-ripened tomatoes, and Maria's famous pie, drinking homemade wine as the sun set. They welcomed me as family, embodying the Greek spirit of philoxenia, love of strangers. That night I learned that the greatest joys in travel come from simple human moments. The feasts and friendships I found nourished my soul in ways I never expected. Ready for a challenge, I set out for the legendary Dragon Lake of Timfi, a strenuous hike inspired by myth. The trail began in pine forest, then climbed steeply over rocky slopes as the sun grew stronger and the air thinner. Doubt crept in, but a shepherd's kindness, a piece of cheese, a swig of water, and a thumbs up spurred me onward. Even in remote places, you're never truly alone. After hours of climbing, I reached the lake, a jewel of blue, perfectly reflecting the peaks and sky. The silence was absolute, the sense of accomplishment overwhelming. I sat by the water, feeling a profound peace and connection to nature. The struggle had revealed a strength I never knew I had. The Dragon Lake was more than a destination. It was a test of spirit, and I had passed. In that moment, I felt transformed. The mountains had given me a gift I'd carry forever. My final stop was Meteora, where ancient monasteries perch atop towering rock pillars, suspended between earth and sky. The sight was surreal. Monks once hauled themselves and their materials up sheer cliffs in nets, seeking solitude and a closer connection to the divine. Visiting the monastery of Great Meteoron, I found quiet contemplation, Byzantine frescoes, and a peace that soaked into the stones. On a balcony at Rusanu, the world fell away, leaving only sky, rock, and silence. I understood why monks chose this place. Here it feels possible to touch something greater than oneself. Meteora brought together all the themes of my journey: nature's power, human spirit, and deep faith. As I descended for the last time, I felt changed. The mountains had left an indelible mark on my soul. Returning home, I reflected on how the mountains had changed me. They taught me resilience, patience, and the beauty of simplicity. Lessons felt deep in my bones, not learned from books. The magic of Greece came home with me. I felt calmer, more centered, and grateful for small wonders. When life felt overwhelming, I'd close my eyes and return to a quiet lane in Zagori or the shore of Dragon Lake. The memories became a source of strength and peace. This journey showed me the world's beauty and kindness, and my own capacity for growth. The mountains gave me a heart full of gratitude and wonder. My story is just one of many. Travel's magic is everywhere, waiting to be found. You don't need a grand expedition. Adventure can be a weekend trip or a walk in your own city. The key is to open your heart to new experiences and let the world surprise you. Travel teaches us about the world and ourselves. So pack a bag, choose a destination, and go. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The magic is out there, waiting for all of us. The next chapter is unwritten. Let's go find it together.